Hello, my dear video game lovers. Today you will find out. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora has been released on Steam and is on sale with a 40% discount. Mass Effect fans are worried about the sequel after the Dragon Age 4 videos. Details of the restart of Perfect Dark have become known. New concept art and details of Wonder Woman from Monolith Studio have appeared. We're going to share these and other news with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You are on the Fox Games News channel. Well, we're starting. Today, the game Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora from Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment Studio was released in the Steam store. The game is sold with a 40% discount. The game tells how one of the representatives of the company captured Na'vi, who is supported by RDA, tries to colonize Pandora. Over the years, he has watched the hero as a human being, no matter what he serves and does. However, 15 years later, he still manages to gain freedom and return to his homeland. The game is available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series, X Series X series. Mass Effect fans began to worry about the upcoming sequel after they saw the gameplay footage of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. In their opinion, the new RPG is more like a mobile game or Fortnite rather than a once-great game franchise. User YouRandomHomie 8748 noted that he was really looking forward to the return of Mass Effect, but after the Dragon Age demonstration, he realized that he was afraid to imagine what the new BioWare employees would do with the space opera. Some users found it unfair to blame EA for all the troubles. In their opinion, BioWare itself ruined the ending of Mass Effect 3 first, and then released the terrible Andromeda. But others did not agree with such statements. Despite the decadent mood, there are also those who believe that BioWare will still be able to regain its former glory. After all, it has recently become known that many veterans who once made Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 are working on the new Mass Effect in leadership positions. At the Xbox Game Showcase, we saw for the first time the gameplay of Perfect Dark, a reboot of the classic series about secret agents. The exciting new trailer gave us hints about the mission of secret agent Joanna Dark, and then gave us a first look at the brand new gameplay. The initiative is jointly developing Perfect Dark with Crystal Dynamics and other partners who are part of the Perfect Dark team. The team shared the details of their project. A new look at the series. Knowledge of previous games is not a requirement. Focus on creating an intuitive movement system with crawling and gadgets so that players can complete missions in multiple ways. Joanna Dark is a Datadyne agent who is not perfect, but aspires to be so. The action takes place in the near future. A cascade hit the Earth, where the planet suffered from a series of environmental disasters, making entire regions unsuitable for human life. A hypercorporation known as Core Mantis is creating a solution called the Gen Network and deploying it in Cairo, creating a walled city isolated from the outside world and restoring ecological balance. Modern Cairo was chosen as the setting because it is quite unique and is not often portrayed in the media in general. Joanna can use the gadget to analyze NPC voices and create voice deepfakes to trick security systems, impersonate other characters, and distract attention. Scan NPCs and characters in the world to learn more about them and get help in achieving your goals. Combat. You have at your disposal a variety of methods: lethal and non-lethal, close combat, destroying several enemies at the same time, stealth, etc. New details and concept art from the upcoming Wonder Woman game from Monolith Productions Studio have appeared online. The plot of the game tells about the invasion of the sorceress Circe on the island of Themyscira, and Diana will have to return home and fight the traitors. Key features of the game: a completely single-player adventure. The action takes place in the captured Amazon city of Themyscira. Advanced Nemesis system with procedural NPC generation. Enemies and allies will remember the player's actions and act according to their own beliefs. Free-flow combat system similar to Middle-earth and Batman Arkham. Diana will use lasso and powerful abilities in battle.
The community expresses its massive disappointment with the new season for the Rainbow Six Siege game. Players are calling the new season the worst season of all time. Players scold Ubisoft for literally everything from the terrible battle pass to the appearance of a lot of new bugs in the game. The publisher especially got into trouble for introducing a paid subscription, which the players criticized back in May when announcing the new season. A number of players are calling for a review bombing of the game, while others say that they will no longer buy Ubisoft games. Players are tired of the constant laziness and greed of the French publisher. Japanese players also criticized Ubisoft for trying to convince players of the authenticity of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ubisoft claimed that the game is supposedly trying to be historically accurate, but in fact it is not. Japanese players are unhappy with the hypocrisy of Ubisoft, who sometimes claim the historical authenticity of the game, then that the game is fiction, and they themselves use Japanese history as a background to create a plot. Assassin's Creed Shadows will be released on November 15th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS. In Greedfall 2, according to the CEO of Spider Studio, the developers focused on making it possible to adjust the difficulty settings, given that in the first game many players did not like the fights. The general director of the studio said that they added various sliders so that the player himself could influence the complexity of the game. In Greedfall 2, you can use these difficulty sliders for the main character's NPC companions, increasing their strength or weakening monsters. All players will be satisfied. Moreover, now in 2 you can become a pacifist, avoiding many battles and trying to convince your enemies to let you go without a fight through diplomacy. The game focuses on storytelling and other elements, so fighting is not a top priority, and after the first Greedfall they got a good Souls-like game. Greedfall will be available for early access on Steam during the summer and will remain in this form for about a year. The developer of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater has confirmed that the upcoming remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 will use a visual filter that will recreate the look of the original game. Players will be able to use modern controls with a classic filter. And although Konami uses the Unreal Engine 5 to create high-definition graphics, fans criticize the visual effects for not having the same color palette and tonality as in the original. The producer made it clear that the success of the game will determine whether the same team will continue the series in the future. However, it is still unclear whether this will happen in the form of new remakes or the release of new chapters. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater does not have a release date yet. It is only known that it will appear on PS5, XSXX, and PC. There is information that the developers do not plan to officially support fan creations mods on consoles. It is also unknown whether the release of the corresponding tools on the PC is planned. The game will feature crafting and combat using sparring weapons. Separate animations have been developed for each type of weapon, which will increase the variety of the combat system. The developers may release additional content for the game in the future. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be released on PC, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5. The game is expected to be released this year. However, so far Warhorse cannot provide a specific date. Recently, the game Pax Dei from the studio Mainframe Industries was released on Steam. The latest MMORPG has been released in early access and has already received more than 100 reviews. However, the developers cannot be satisfied with them, as many strongly advise not to buy the game. There will be no NPCs in this game. Instead, in the medieval fantasy world, we will only meet other players who will also be engaged in construction. What do players complain about most often? Among the disadvantages mentioned are, for example, performance and bugs classics of the modern industry. Other users, on the contrary, report the absence of bugs and add that this is just early access, so developers still have something to work on. Pax Dei will be in early access at least until June 2025. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything. See you in the new video.